fellow people of the United Nations Trust Territory of the British Southern Cameroons, fellow people of Ambazonia, good citizens of Ambazonia, welcome to another edition of the No KUNNY Talk Zone, a talk show where we propagate and we promote, we advocate for Ambazonia right of self-determination and the implementation of the United Nations resolutions regarding Ambazonians' independence. We fight for and we stand for nothing but the independence of the British Southern Cameroon territory of Ambazonia. And that is what we advocate for. On this platform, we advocate for effective ways and effective policy to effectuate the independence of Ambazonia. It is an advocacy platform. It is not a cheerleading platform. So for all of our viewers who are here, expect your views to be challenged and expect me, your host, Capo Daniel, to have strong opinions that may challenge you and make you feel uncomfortable. If you are one of those who are uncomfortable with being challenged, you may find it uncomfortable to be here. And if you have the guts to stay here and watch over, then you are part of the 1% smartest Ambazonian people who are the backbone of our revolution. We remain the most influential platform. We advocate and we have a team of advisors across the territory in the diaspora, some who are veterans, some who are frontline leaders, and some people who are advocates and those who are behind the scene who have been advising me from day one. I really appreciate. And I want to thank Ambassador Fosong and those many other people who are very dear to me, and Pa Benjamin in Canada, as well as Mr. John, I wouldn't call his second name, and a lot of senior advocates who love me so much, and they believe in me, they believe in my patriotism, and they believe in my platform in pushing forth transparency, pushing forth for civil liberty of all Ambazonian, and pushing forth for policies and principles that are going to help Ambazonia to achieve its independence and safeguard the integrity of the public interest in this revolution. So you are all welcome. As usual, we will start with the national anthem, and then we will get to a music which is dedicated to all those who participate on the live show for an interactive show. We are going to use that moment to greet everybody. I can see Ambali Squad is on the line, and Guvala is on the line, and many other people are on the line. Fonji is on the line. So I know it is not a convenient time. It's probably 3 a.m. in Ambazonia and also in Europe. So we will not have the biggest crowd, but that is okay. Our policy has always been the message. It has always been, it's not about popularism, but it's about the appeal that we bring, the advocacy that we bring for the revolution. So everybody, you are welcome in the house. I can see my sister, my mom, Irene Ate is in the house, and many other people. So we will follow our normal procedure in this show. You are welcome to the No KUNNY Talk Zone. We are going to play our national anthem to remind ourselves of who we are, the values that we hold, and why we are doing the things we do. So please join me, ladies and gentlemen, to go through our national anthem, and then I'll take a moment to greet everybody. I can see Martin Monono in the house. Merci quoi, everybody's in the house. I love you guys all. Let's do that. Let's play our anthem and then we'll go straight. You know, we are not going to wait for the 1,000 viewers and hundreds of viewers and whatsoever. But we have a rich show today. It's full of substance and analysis and in-depth of the diplomacy that is going on, in-depth of what is going on ground zero, our capacity building, Ambazonians, defense forces, acquisition of material and support from the diaspora, post dialogue in La République du Cameroon policies, diplomacy and the revolution of Mr. Eugene Ufoka, John Bakoro's letters, Mark Barata's letters to about Vanessa, Panga, what is going on in Switzerland, what should be your take, and many other things that is going on in Kondengi. Prisoners have been separated, and there are news that they are under a lot of pressure to make certain compromises about our revolution. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, and let's go to our national anthem. Join me as we sing and pay tribute to our country. Hail, hail this land of glory, We the Ambazonians pledge our loyalty. Praises to our Savior who granted us our freedom. Allegiance to the hero who bought his land with their blood. From glory to glory, we rise to never to fall. Here in a nation flowing with milk and honey. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. Bravo, bravo, Ambazonia, the Most High God shall be the watchman of this nation. Ladies and gentlemen, good people of Ambazonia, welcome to the No KUNNY Talk Zone, an advocacy platform. Today we have a lot in stock to you. We have the inside in diplomacy, inside in the background diplomacy regarding a prospect of negotiation. What should be your take and what should be your expectation and what should guarantee that Ambazonia, if in case we decide to go into a negotiation, we are going to have the best deal for our people. That with much more, an address to Mr. Mark Baratas later regarding Dr. Vanessa Panga, the move to get some Ambazonian fighters who are in exile in Nigeria. A lot of things I have for you in stock today. But first, before we get into the nitty-gritty, I want to take this moment to greet everybody like our tradition in this show. So I'm going to play a song for everybody and then you welcome everybody. So everybody, I throw a salute. I throw a salute for all man for us. I don't receive some message. I want to tell all man say we did together. I throw a salute for people then for Tico. I throw the one for Mutengene. I throw the salute for Emoyo Jo. For the one then for Boa Boa. The one then for Fundong Jinikom. I throw the salute for Mbengwi for all sides. So all man, be welcome today for us. We'll take this few minutes, about 4 minutes for me for salute all man. We then join this show for make a more interactive discussion. I don't put telephone number the way they go now only for WhatsApp number. If you call after my presentation and my closing statement, for give a statement, a comment, or for ask a question, and then I go try for answer them. Today we'll get a plenty thing for talk. Among the thing for talk, now the assistant SDO, where they be talking, they don't catch them from Bengui. And where they be catch someone for Bengui. They are making an deal yesterday. So we'll go talk and then I will give some number for some black leg the way they do online. So agent for La Republic of Cameroon, an army man. We there for plenty WhatsApp group them. I will give the number. We will talk about congratulations for Lucas Asue that are appointed for AGC. Abdul Karim. I'll give you now more details about what will happen for Abdul Karim. And I will also talk about the question for Ambazonia forgiveness, the need for forgiveness in our revolution. There are some people that we need to forgive in our revolution for us to move forward, because we have received intelligence that La Republic of Cameroon, they are exploiting some of the bitterness that we have in our revolution to compromise some of our leaders. That and much more we are going to have. So first, let me welcome everybody in the house. Merci Kwa, you are welcome. Malina Jamia, you are welcome in the house. Adriana Salute. Accord Cafe for all General Ground Zero. For General Arke, Accord Salute. General Gola. Civil Department. Mr. Anthony, a salute big number. General of the General Efam. Adriana Salute for all the baby boys of the ground. The commander them, the foot soldier them, where they don't know their name. Now they hold ground, now they take snipers position them. To make sure so our land be free. We throw a salute. All those who are wounded, our wounded veterans, we salute na all. Amba Freedom, welcome in the house. Bajo, welcome in the house. Everybody, you are welcome. And I greet you all. Edwin Gang, our leader. I love you. You are a smart man. We are so blessed to have you. thank you for the great job you are doing with the Republic of Ambazonia in diplomacy. I have something about that in my presentation today. So welcome, sir. Welcome, sir. Willie B, you are welcome, and everybody is welcome. I want to greet everybody in China, in the group called AMIC, and the debate club in China, those in the UAE, and those in Nigeria, those in South Africa, those in Gabon, in Ghana, those in the United States of America, those in the Mexico border, trying to flee the war and seek for refugee status in America. I greet you all, and those in the forest who could not watch SCBC, I have spoken to the SCBC team and they have responded. Atriona salute. Papa, put your hands on me. They were not the work. Everybody's welcome. Beta, you are welcome. Lorenza, you are welcome. Everybody's welcome in the house. We have a rich presentation today to you. Franz Venkat gave us an insight in the mind of A2D. We are going to present that to you as well. So everybody, you are welcome. All the donors, patriotic donors, those who donate without expectation, without requesting for power. I salute you all. So we have a lot today to present to you. We have a lot. Stay on and hold on. We have some insight with diplomacy. Ambazonia needs to forgive. We need healing. We need to restore common sense. We need to restore, for the sake of all those who have died, we need to be pragmatic. We need to be honest. We need to be vigilant. We need to stand our ground and make sure that the sacrifices of our people do not go in vain. Yes. Daiga Pride, you are welcome. You're welcome. Atriona salute. Wherever you are, I greet you. I salute you all. The guy in Mami, I did call the woman again for Mr. Lady. My mommy will ever call me. I salute now all. I salute so my mommy waiting for America. He always call me sometime, they will talk. I salute you. And all those who are following my podcast, I greet you all and I welcome you all. Leonga Martina, you are welcome in the house. You are welcome in the house. Chief Are, I salute you. And all the traditional rulers who love me so much and who always encourage me. And some of them that people will not believe. Trust me, there are some one of the biggest funds in Ambazonia is a fan of the No Konitok Zone, and also a subscriber to my podcast, and I appreciate all of those traditional leaders. A lot of them who are even walking around Mr. Pobia, they are doing so because they are afraid, and we do understand that. Yeah, so yeah, we are going to talk about unity, we are going to talk about forgiveness, and as usual, this is not a platform that is based on popularism, but I want to caution everybody that I have opened the comment section today, which means that I will have to block somebody if you don't follow the rules. Number one is that everybody have to be very civil in your comments. Do not try to hijack the comment section. We are here to have a conversation with me, the host. This is my platform, and expect me to be able to air my view and advocate for the things that I believe are the priorities on behalf of all Ambazonians. Give my space and respect my views and be challenged, and ask your question in a very respectful and a civil manner. Then we can have a conversation. But if you are unable to express yourself in a civil manner and you use derogatory statements and you use insult, you will be blocked. And if you are, I suspect you to act like somebody who is a La République du Cameroon, agent de provocateur, who is just here to distract people, you will be blocked, so that we can have a conversation about the future of our country. So everybody, you are welcome in the house. Mr. James, you are welcome. I'm going to go straight into my presentation, but before I do that, I have to drink a little bit of wine. We drink palm wine, in Ambazonia, and eat some bitter cola, because these are fruits of wisdom. And this is our tradition. We hold our tradition. This is who we are. This is our character. We drink wine with men. We eat cola. We share cola. Can you welcome? And that is our way of life. We love our way of life. We are proud of our way of life. We don't have any inferiority about the way we speak, the way we act, and the way we behave. This is who we are. This is how we were born. where our community and our culture have to evolve into a modern and civilized culture that is unique to our own cultural heritage. So that's why I always portray our traditional values, our culture, to reinforce the sense of our identity and the pride as a person of who we are. So you're all welcome. Mrs. Abu Free, welcome, ma'am. You're highly welcome. We love you so much, and we are very inspired about your work for our people and your heart for the women in particular. So everybody is welcome here. Today we have a very special presentation, and as you know, we don't base our presentation on dramatic effects, on inflammation, flamboyant ways, so that you have to really be patient and listen. Listen to what I say, get the point. What I say to you is something I have researched upon very deeply. It's things that I believe. I don't say things that I don't believe in them. I don't say things because I am angry against somebody or I am in love with somebody. I say things because I believe from the bottom of my heart that these things are truthful. I believe we must be honest, and I believe we must be transparent. I believe in those values that I bring to this struggle, and those who advise me believe in them. So everything I bring to you are things that I believe to be 100% truthful, 100% certain, and they are well advised and well consulted. So please take your time to listen. If you are privileged to listen to me, then you are one of those who are very intellectual people, because it's sometimes very difficult for people to grasp the challenges we bring. When we criticize people, we go after people, and some people can't just take it. But if you have that heart to listen to me, you're welcome. So we are going to start today with what happened in Kumba. Yesterday in Kumba, around 8 p.m., in Fiango Market, around Farm Road, they had an incident where a woman and a man was killed. They were shot by Cameroon government forces who invaded that area, and they just shoot these people, senior citizens, kill them like that for nothing. The blood is flowing in Ambazonia continually. Despite the talk of so-called dialogue in La République du Cameroon's capital, Yaoundé, they continue to go on mission in our territory with the intention to kill our people for political ends. They have decided to implement a systematic massacre of our people, to go out and commit targeted killing against our people, for nothing other than trying to use it to wear us down and make our people to change their mind not to demand for independence. These are crimes against humanity. These are against the wars of law. These are deplorable. We will continue to talk about the killings of our people, every single one of them. La République du Cameroon, their ministers, their senators stood on their parliamentary platform and announced to the people that when their sons and daughters will come into our land, they will not return back without spilling Ambazonian blood. They have called us cats, they have called us dogs, they have called us cockroaches, and that is what they see us to be. And they are proving it on the ground. The president of Cameroon, Mr. Paul Biya, who is the commander-in-chief of their army, have given instruction to his soldiers to go out and wage a war against Ambazonia. That means every single person in our territory is a target. And they have proven so by their actions. Killing those two people in Kumba, in Fiango, near Market Road. It is a proof that it is a systematic policy of Cameroon government to kill as much people as possible, making sure that somebody will die every day in Ambazonia. For what reason? To attain a political end. That is illegal, that is morally bankrupt. All their troops and those who saved that administration should be ashamed of themselves. So we are going to start today. Before we go into the depth of my presentation, we want to talk in the most civil and most polite and most understanding manner, because there is a tendency in our revolution that whenever you say something that contradicts somebody else, people would perceive it as coming from a jealous background, coming from I want only my idea, I oppose this one. No, we actually believe the things we say. We believe them. And I want to address the issue that Mr. Mark Barata, he wrote a letter telling us that Dr. Ebenezer Kwanga, he's a trusted somebody. He personally trusts Ebenezer Kwanga. He gave his track record to Dr. Ebenezer Kwanga. And I think that he's wrong. He just gets it wrong. Yes, Dr. Ebenezer Kwanga is somebody that we have watched him growing up. Growing up as a child, we saw him in the youth wing. Even the SCNC used to play into that SCYL to claim that SCYL is some sort of a youth wing in the SCNC because it was credible and his leadership was really admirable. He was locked up because of Ambazonia and a lot of things. But Mark Barata's position that we trust Ebenezer Kwanga above our common sense, above our rational thinking, does not make sense. It does not have to apply to anybody who is alive, born of a woman, when it comes to the life of 8 million Ambazonia. It's not possible to say that you trust anybody, including Ayaba Cho Lucas, or Seseko, or Ata Milan, or Edwin Gang, or Godi Dinka. You cannot say we are going to trust anybody above our sense of judgment. It does not work that way. Remember, yes, Ebenezer Kwanga is a leader with credibility. He's a leader who has stood for the policy of AK-47 as a means to defend our interests. He has been all these things, but you cannot ignore the fact that Ebenezer Kwanga has also acted in manner that have been treasonous to our cause. You cannot ignore the allegations that was brought forth by Comrade Kavi about incident where diplomatic successes in the UK were presented to Dr. Ebenezer Kwanga, and he sabotaged them because it came through Ayaba Cho Lucas. He betrayed the cause. Not one time, not twice. I've met Dr. Ebenezer Kwanga. He's a fine man. He came to China for our convention, and I met him personally. We had conversation with him. We decided to support him. And when he left, his indignation, his hatred for Dr. Ayaba Cho Lucas is very evident. It's very evident. Every single time I will make my show, I will talk about Ebenezer Kwanga, about Ayaba Cho, or the ADF, or the AGOPC. And every time I have a conversation with me, he's visibly very angry. That why are you supporting this guy? Why are you supporting Ayaba Cho? You have said so many times, Ayaba Cho is a politician, Ayaba Cho is this, Ayaba Cho is that. He says that in his private conversation. So we know that he have a problem to overcoming personal grievances with other people. In particularly in this case with Ayaba Cho Lucas. You cannot ignore that. Yes, he has strategy, he has charisma, he's a strong leader, he has advocated and stood for Southern Cameroon. But Dr. Ebenezer Kwanga have also demonstrated that due to personal issues, he is incapable of surmounting personal issues and putting Ambazonia first. There was a time where we had a discussion about bringing together Tiger One and then ADF and Sukadef in a discussion that was involved with the community in China called AMIC. Dr. Ebenezer Kwanga was in charge to come up with the terms of agreement to bring these groups together. He physically wrote them down. Every single item he put on the place, including putting himself as the commander-in-chief of the joint forces, was accepted by everybody. And when Dr. Ayaba Cho said yes, he turned around and said, no, I'm not going to do it anymore, and withdraw himself for no reason, because he does not want to accept Ayaba Cho to play any significant role in leadership, because he knows that Ayaba Cho will outshine him in terms of leadership skills, and he cannot accept that. He cannot accept somebody to go ahead of him, somebody whom he sees as his subordinate at one point. And he does that against the interests of Ambazonia. So, based on all this record, I can confidently disagree with Mark Barata that we cannot trust the judgment of Kwanga when it does not ties up with common sense, when it is repugnant to natural assumption, natural logic. Then we cannot agree with Kwanga. We cannot just say we trust him. He can go to Switzerland and negotiate on our behalf and do anything, even when it defies logic. So Mr. Mark Barata's conclusion is completely wrong. It's completely wrong. We cannot trust Kwanga anyhow. He has proven it again and again, including Ayaba Cho, all our leaders. We trust them, but with a limit. The trust must have a yardstick. When a leader is doing something that does not make sense, we cannot say we trust him. If it does not match up with common sense and logic, we cannot say we trust him. A leader who is not transparent, who you cannot debate with, you cannot say we trust him. You can't do that. If we do that, we have to understand that everybody is prone to corruption. There is a limit to anybody that you can be stressed up by the enemy, you can be blackmailed. Every leader, and we have to be on our guard to make sure that everything is done transparently, everything is done based on principle, nothing does not contradict common sense for us to be able to be successful. So that is what I believe. We cannot say we trust the people in Switzerland based on some past glory of Dr. Ebenezer Panga. We cannot say that. Cannot say that. So decisions must be rational, must be principled, based on principles, must have a sense to accomplish a goal. It must have a sense to accomplish a goal. That is why I call for the people of Scoop to call their leadership of Atta Milan to order. And that was successful because they had to withdraw from that act. But I still insist that all the talented people in Scoop should not surrender the leadership to one man. And also in the IG, also in the egg of C, if you are in any organization and they give you a position, you must use that power for the sake of Ambazonia people. You cannot be in any organization and the leader is taking decision without consultation with anybody. You cannot be in an organization and the leader is taking decision to go into negotiation without consultation or without your approval, without your knowledge. If you are doing so, you are betraying the Ambazonia people, because once they know that you are in that position, they are assuming that whatever the leader is doing represents the will of all the people in that organization. So what we have realized is all those leaders who are there, they have not done any consultation with anybody in the organization, because probably they know that if they do those consultations, the results are not going to be favorable to what they want to do. So what Mark Barata is saying, that we should just support, Akwanga based on his past glory, defies logic, because his current record is not something that is admirable. Remember, Dr. Ebenezer Akwanga declared war against the Sword of Ambazonia. He declared to capture the generals of the Sword of Ambazonia, dead or alive. He has made poor judgment after poor judgment. Somebody who had ruled over one of the very formidable forces, the Sokadef, have left Sokadef now to be decimated. Sokadef is almost wiped out. The only few Sokadef soldiers we have seen, there were around 5 of them, together with the county by county soldiers of who are now working with Ashu Kingsley and those other people. They were going there to block road, doing anti-revolutionary things without consulting everybody. They are pushing this idea of indefinite lockdown that are counterproductive. I want Mark Barata and anybody who listens to me to have this consideration about the logic that Mark Barata wants you to have. Think about it. Think about Agbobala. At one point, we trusted Agbobala so much, we love Agbobala so much, that some of our people call him president. We call him Mr. President because of his past history. We could see his videos in the United Nations giving petition together with Dr. Ebenezer with Dr. Ayaba Cho Lucas. We have seen him going on TV screen and speaking about our struggle. And we believe Agbobala today. How many Ambazonia can call Agbobala Mr. President? How many of them? We have seen him come out to say that he believes in the one Cameroon. I remember, I have always stand on my principle. I remember in the initial stages of this our revolution, when I started supporting the lawyers, it was not Agbobala, it was Harmony Bogba who was in front. Out of nowhere, Agbobala came up with the consortium and take over the struggle. And I was a little bit suspicious. I was always suspicious of Agbobala. And when we heard about the deal he had in jail, and what he told the Mancho BBC and the other prisoners, and he came out, he bowed in front of the deal, I knew that that was a sign that what we were hearing were true. And today he has, when Agbobala took that picture, and I told Ambazonia people, Agbobala has compromised. People wanted to stone me to death. I used to have almost as much followers like Mark Barata. My followership fell like by half. But I did not try to just please the people and say what they want so that they will come back to listen to me. Because I will be doing a disservice. I will just be serving the public emotion. I will not be serving them as a revolutionary. So I decided to go with what I believe in. That there is something wrong with Agbobala. And when I tried to contact him, he used to talk with me before and he stopped responding to me. When I inquire about the specific things about the document Akere Muna gave him to sign, and he ran away. And then I know that there is something wrong there. I knew that this man, that document was real. He actually signed that document through his lawyers, and that is the agreement he has made with Mr. Pobia to go out there. I said it, that Agbobala have engaged with Mr. Pobia to go out there and make sure that he's campaigning against Ambazonian right for independence, in favor of federalism. And people did not believe me. And he was going from place to place. We were telling people to counter him. Nobody believed me. Tapong Ivor, who was very loyal to Agbobala, came up recently to write a piece to say that Agbobala is a liar. Agbobala is a liar. So how can Mark Barata tell us just to follow Akwanga blindly? Mark Barata is wrong. We cannot follow Ebenezer Akwanga blindly based on his past glory. If that applies to Akwanga, why would that not apply to Agbobala? Remember Alex Ndive. Alex Ndive used to go around carrying Ambazonian flag. And I brought him here and I challenged him on specific things that he could not answer. I asked him specifically, do you support Ambazonia independence? And he could not answer. He said, yeah, I support them because they are killing the people. I said, no, that is different. When you say that this is your stand, that means this is what I believe is the solution of this crisis. I believe in independence. I believe in justice for Southern Cameroon. If somebody cannot say that, then you can start to see from the person. I've criticized a lot of people who are not popular. I remember recently when I started to talk with Mimi Mifo, she's a very powerful voice. And she's a very genuine talent in Amazonia. Initially, when she was talking about our struggle, things were good. I tried to reach out to her. We have she sent some inquiry to me. Discussions were going on. But when she was given the opportunity to work abroad, when she was given more opportunity, she now starts to be showing some proneness to be susceptible to please the enemy and to be politically correct. And I said, this lady will not defend our cause. Of course, he's not an advocate, but you expect some benchmark in terms of fairness for her to put up our point of view. And people criticize me. They insult me because they didn't see it. But follow the principle. Just stay on principle. Irrespective of who. Whether it's Akwanga, whether it's Beneza, whether it's Siseko, whether it's Ayaba Cho, judge them on principle and put criteria, and you will never fail. You will never fail. So look at Alex Ndive. We used to say this guy is a good guy. He's an articulate person. He can speak fluent British language. And he appears to be somebody that people could trust. He talks about Skakuf and all those things. Today, can you say the same thing about him? You have seen him becoming the part of an enabler. You have seen him become a part of an enabler. So Mark Barata is completely wrong. We will not follow the people who are in Switzerland because they had past glory. We cannot do that. He's completely wrong. I'm going to come to that Swiss issue, but I just wanted to address that write-up by Mark Barata appealing that we should blindly follow Ebenezer Akwanga's judgment. That is wrong. So, what do we know about the Swiss process? I want to help Amazonia people to give them specific so that they know what we know about the Swiss process. They need to know what we know about the Swiss process, because we have now had Eli Smith name come up. We have heard the name of John Bakoro revealing us details about the Swiss process. So in the no Konni talk zone, what I pledge to do is to provide the Ambazonia people facts, to provide them the reality, so that they can make the distinction about what is reality, what is not reality, and then they can easily form their own independent opinion about this subject. So I will give you the facts and the fiction so that you can make right judgment. The HD, the first time Capo Daniel, I heard about the HD was when the CEO of Barry Corbett Company went to Cameroon together with the current ambassador of Switzerland to meet Mr. Paul Biya. He went there and they shook hands. I think it was about April or something like that 1 year ago. And they greeted Paul Biya, and through that conversation, because we have journalists who are in ground zero, we have people in the diplomacy, we have Ambazonians, we have Bamileke people who are in that elite area, and they give us, they talk to us about what is going on in the country. So that was the first time the name HD came up. They said that the CEO came there with the issue concerning Barry Corbett. They want to acquire more land in Ambazonia area. They want to expand their production there. They are currently exploiting in the east of Cameroon. They have plantation there where they buy cocoa there, exclusive right. And now the HD want to, the Barry Corbett Chocolate Company want to expand in the area of Akwaya. They want to buy cocoa from those areas as well. And they had brought in the HD to assist Paul Biya to bring peace and bring normalcy. And Paul Biya made it clear to them that the premises of whatever the activity should be around decentralization, because that is what is acceptable to him. And that this was the premises Paul Biya gave, and he accepted the deal with them. That is the first time we heard about HD. Before we also learned that they have already had conversation with Ambazonian leaders. They had already done their investigation. We actually heard that they had met Samuel Sako in America. That was the first time I heard about the HD. So we know that the HD was a project that was presented for endorsement and support by the Barry Corbett Chocolate Company through the Switzerland government. Remember that all these European government, their main power base are not only their citizens, but they are multinational companies that manage their economy, that have the support of their secret services, that are the backbones to provide for their people the resources that they need to survive. Barry Corbett is one of those companies which is a fusion of French and Switzerland conglomerates, and they had a hand in that deal. So what do we know in terms of their communication with Ambazonia? We have little information about the Barry Corbett contact with Samuel Sako, but we have intelligence that indicated that they had a meeting, face-to-face meeting with Sako before that meeting with Mr. Paul Biya took place. We know that for sure. We are very trustworthy of that source. And what do we know in terms of Ambazonia? We have two accounts. There is one account that came out with my interview. Not really an interview, because I had a conversation with Mr. Eli Smith, and I also have an interview with him, which I aired. In that interview, and I had a conversation. The conversation was not with his permission. That means it's like I pick up my phone call. I call him because I wanted to inquire about the AGC of Cardinal Tumi. I've spoken to the office of Cardinal Tumi, and they have told me Eli Smith is the right person to talk to when it comes to the policy of the AGC and the work of Cardinal Tumi. Of course, they gave me access to Cardinal Tumi, but when it comes to those policies and nitty-gritty things, Eli Smith is the person you have to talk to. So I've spoke with Eli Smith. In my private conversation with Eli Smith, as well as my recorded interview, which I have aired, Eli Smith gave some information about the Switzerland ambassador and what they are doing in Cameroon. Mr. Eli Smith, in that conversation, which I have aired a piece, clearly stated this about the Switzerland ambassador. The Switzerland ambassador thinks that the Ambazonian leaders, in particularly Samuel Sako, is a clown. They don't respect us, and he told me that we have signed our death warrant by going to the Switzerland negotiation. That is what he said to me. I have aired it. People who have listened to my podcast have listened to that piece. So that is what we know about the Switzerland ambassador and the people in the Switzerland. They are not doing that to give us independence. They just want not the war to stop so that they can continue exploiting their cocoa. And I heard that they have already started exploiting, buying cocoa from Ambazonia already, with some forces facilitating it, receiving bribes. You saw the last time I make a presentation of hundreds of convoy of cocoa going out of Ambazonia, going to Barry Quebec. They are already back in business. Some areas in CDC are already being opened by them with new cash, new investment. So that is what we heard about the Swiss process from Ellie Smith, that it was a sham, it was a dead warrant for Ambazonia. And then now we have had new information. You know me, I'm a straight shooter. This is a no Connie talk zone. Our mandate is to present to you the facts without any Connie, so that you can make your judgment. Now we have had a new information that is a little bit contradictory to what I heard from Ellie Smith. And I'm going to present it, and then you are going to make your judgment call. The new information is coming from a write-up from Mr. John Bakoro. Mr. John Bakoro stated that when Ellie Smith visited America, he had all of them in the room, including Samuel Sako. And it was Ellie Smith that told Sako to write a letter to the ambassador of Switzerland. And then the Switzerland are going to accept to do the negotiation. You can read that write-up online. I'll also share it on my profile. I've shared it on my profile when I talk about John Bakoro blaming those in Switzerland for the arrest or the kidnapping of Abdul Karim. So Ellie Smith in his private conversation said to me that the Switzerland is a dead deal. It's a dead trap for Ambazonia. Then you now hear John Bakoro saying that it was Ellie Smith who told Sako to write a letter to the Swiss ambassador. What can this be? This happened after the Barry Quebec CEO already visited Paul Biya with the ambassador. It might be that they had already had this thing going on and they wanted to bring, it may be that Ellie Smith was part of it, I don't know, or they wanted to bring those leaders to formally invite the Switzerland so that it would be like it is something coming from us. It could be that way. Maybe that is just assumption. It's not something I'm saying, it's a fact. But we know that these two positions are contradictory, because Ellie Smith is, in one hand, have said clearly on a private conversation with me that this thing was a sham, it is a death trap for Ambazonia. Now you have somebody saying that Ellie Smith have told Sako to write that letter. That Ellie Smith actually tell him what to write on that paper. He basically dictated to him and Sako wrote the letter. And it was delivered in Yaoundé. I don't know whether Ellie Smith delivered it or they sent it through post. These two things contradict each other. One of them, Ellie Smith should be saying the truth. Was he saying the truth to me, or he was saying the truth to Sako that they should apply for the Swiss process? I believe in his private conversation, he was saying the truth, because the position of the AGC is that they want to have a local dialogue. It's up to you to make your own judgment call. But that contradiction tells a lot about what is going on. So I am going to dissect to you the HD. What is happening with the HD in terms of people who are considering it as a legitimate avenue to pursue negotiation with La République du Cameroon. So first of all, we have had the HD have contacted all the movements, all, without any exception. And these are the facts that we have known from its communication with those people. Number one, that there is no proof of document of the Cameroon engagement with the Switzerland or the Switzerland government giving mandate to HD. None. There is no official document that the Cameroon government have signed that I now approve or I will participate in this Swiss process. There is no official document from the Switzerland government other than verbal arrangement. Why is it important for them to have this official document? And this is one of the reasons why the AGOVC and Seseko Ayoktabi's interim government said that they will not be a part of it. The reason is, when there is no official document, then there is no legal obligation for any of the side to do anything or to do whatsoever what is going on, be it a conclusion or be in the participation. They can just simply walk away. So they don't have any legal obligation in that process if they don't have any official document to prove that they have authorized that document, that process, or they have endorsed that process. So officially, the HD is completely a Barry Quebec project, because all the Cameroon government have done is give word of mouth. All the Switzerland document have done is give word of mouth. As a matter of fact, the scoop, Atta Milan have confirmed that they have asked, that HD and AG have said to them that there is no document that Cameroon government have signed except verbal confirmation. When the HD had a Zoom conversation with the people in Canada, that same question was asked to them by Lucas Ansu, and they said it online. You can go and watch the video, that they don't have any document from Cameroon government to say that they are there, but the Cameroon government have just said it. They have sent somebody there, the Cameroon government have repeated it, the Switzerland government have repeated it. So why do the HG wants to have dialogue with us when he has not have a written confirmation from the other leaders? And mind you that the Ambazonia leaders who have gone there have signed. They have signed with the HG. So it is reasonable for the interim government and the Advocacy to say that we cannot have anything to do with the HG process unless they secure the signature of Cameroon government and Switzerland on paper. It is very reasonable demand. So they have said that we are not going to have anything to do with the HD until they have written documents from Cameroon government and the Switzerland government before we can engage. So they also don't have a United Nations mandate. It is very important that a United Nation will give a resolution to support the negotiation process. This can only happen if either Cameroon or Switzerland, which is a state party, can apply for United Nations resolution. Because an NGO cannot have the power to apply for United Nations resolution. Only a state party can apply, who is a member of the UN, can apply for a resolution to support a peace process. This is one of the demands of the Advocacy and the interim government. Because if there is no United Nations resolution, then there will be no international legal instrument to hold any party for the result of this negotiation. There will be no binding legal process. It means that Cameroon can just walk away. Switzerland can just walk away and just say that, okay, it has failed, and there will be no repercussion. So we need that these countries who have endorsed this process, or who want to endorse this process, or who are going to endorse this process, to apply to the United Nations like any other conflict and provide for us the legal instrument for the negotiation. And then if they secure these things, we can even talk about ceasefire. Because then we know that the process that will be going on could yield results. Because if then La République du Cameroon decides to walk away, unreasonably so, there will be consequences. There will be international sanction. The United Nations will have a responsibility to pursue Cameroon and to take action and to demand the Security Council to take action. Because that will be a leverage. So we cannot go into a negotiation without that leverage. We can't do that. It is going to be counterproductive. And one other thing we have to understand, we cannot, as a people, we cannot and we will not get into any negotiation without being satisfied that the process can produce the result of independence. That is baseline. Before we get into any negotiation, before we get into any dialogue, we must be satisfied without question that that process can produce independence. That is the baseline. If we are getting into a negotiation process that cannot, as a result, produce independence, then we have surrendered. And the Switzerland and the HD, through the HD, have made it clear to the Ambazonian leaders that the scope of this negotiation is going to be in Cameroon national dialogue, under the sphere of Cameroon national border. They are going to treat them like political parties and all these things. So independence cannot come out of that process. Independence cannot come out of that process. It is clear, because you want to go inside. If it's just like somebody owes your money. If somebody owes you something, before you go and look for help, whether it is in the police station or you go and report the person to the quarter head or to somebody who is an elderly person, you must first be sure that that person can hold that man to give you back your money. If that man does not have the capability to help you to take your solution, to give back your money, then it is futile. We cannot engage in any negotiation or any process for negotiation for negotiation's sake. We cannot just say because the international community say we should negotiate, so we should just go into any negotiation without first of all being sure that that process can provide us independence as a solution. Yes, there is a benchmark that says that there should be no condition. But before we enter into that process, we must be sure that one of the solutions that can come out of it should be independence. So far, the Swiss talk is not limited. It cannot produce independence because the HD have said it clearly that it is around Cameroon as a sovereign country. The negotiation is going to consider them like pressure groups. So we cannot go there. If we go there, we have deceived our people. We will just get into a perpetual, lengthy negotiation that will have no end. While the Republic of Cameroon will be normalizing things on the ground, exploiting our resources, and we will lose the leverage that we have now. We will lose it. So the HD has admitted that there is no official endorsement of what they are doing. The HD have made a vague claim in Canada that Canada government is sponsoring the talks. That is completely distortion. Because as a matter of fact, the HD as an institution have a lot of project and a lot of government that supports them. So just because it's like an NGO, I'm sending money to the Red Cross. The Red Cross can go somewhere and say that Capo Daniel is sponsoring me. It does not mean that I'm sponsoring a specific project. There is no evidence that the Canada government is sponsoring this project as claimed by the HD in Canada. There is no proof of that. There is no proof of that. So we should be very clear. The Switzerland process under HD cannot give us independence, so we cannot go there. We cannot participate. The HD have had a reasonable response from the AGOVC and the interim government demanding these three things. Number one, go and get an official document from the Cameroon government saying that they are supporting this process and they are participating in this process. Number two, go and get the same from the Switzerland government. Number three, get us an engagement from these countries that they are willing to get as a result of this negotiation our own option of independence and be treated as state party. That means they must agree that they are coming to sit on the negotiation table like equal partners. We cannot go there and we say that, okay, we are discussing as Cameroonians. No, we are not Cameroonians. That is not our standpoint. We must have these things on the ground before we go there. If we go to negotiation and they are not calling us Ambazonians, we have lost. These are basic requirements that you would expect that these leaders should accept before they go there. But they are rushing there because this is the only way for them to actually have relevance in the struggle. Just imagine if Maurice was not there, what would Maurice be doing? Doing Ambazonia calling? When they call the Ambazonia, how many Ambazonia are answering? Look at Bo Herbert. He ran and created the group, the app. They call it Ambazonia Coalition Team. Without even consulting the group, the members who were there. Without even consulting them. And from the information from the participant of the HD thing, what they are doing there is just capacity building. And think about this. If the referee and the linesman, they decide to be coaching one team, and then the other team is not complaining, what does that tell you? It tells you that that team is probably in, that referee is probably in agreement with that team to come and mislead you. How can HD claim to be a mediator and then they are doing capacity building for Ambazonia? It is because their job is to deceive us. They believe that some of us are so primitive, are so poor, are so desperate that we just like the idea to travel to Switzerland and we are going to accept them just giving us small money here. It's not different from what is happening in La Republique of Cameroon. It's not different. They just think that our leaders would like that prestige to go and sit there with white man in Switzerland, and then we'll be doing our discussion there, brainstorming why our people are being killed. They think that we are stupid. As a matter of fact, if you listen to the France 24, they said that Paul Biya would not even sit with us because he thinks that it will, the word that they used, it was what is it here? Palmarès, the Palmarès. Paul Biya thinks that it will bring down his palmarès for his government to even negotiate with Ambazonia out of the country. It will reduce his palmarès. So they don't even think of us in a way that we can say that these are people who are ready to dialogue. They are not. They are not ready to dialogue. So I want to tell you something about this dialogue thing to conclude this topic, then I move to the next topic. What you should know is that right now in Cameroon, there is a big conflict going on between the Cameroon government under Mr. Paul Biya and his Bulu and Beti tribe against the French hegemony and the Switzerland hegemony that are running the show from the French embassy. There is a conflict going on. The Paul Biya is getting old, he's getting sick. Some people say that he's not functioning properly. And he have his Beti and his Bulu clan that was the power base of that government. They are now afraid that the end of that regime is coming and they want to protect themselves. They are now being skeptical that the Switzerland and the French people, they want to remove Paul Biya and bring Maurice Kamto, which we know it is the plan. So they are fighting against Maurice Kamto and French government plan to bring them, to remove Paul Biya and replace Paul Biya with Maurice Kamto. And they are also skeptical about the Swiss process. So people who may see Cameroon government against the Swiss process, it is not because that the Swiss process is going to help us, Ambazonia. No. It is just because that they know that the Swiss government can use the popularity of a negotiation and remove Paul Biya from power. They know that they can remove Paul Biya from power because the French government and the Switzerland government have understood that the Americans and other national interests have lost Cameroon petroleum and Cameroon resources because of the Ambazonia war. They don't want the war to continue. Paul Biya and the Bulu and Beti people, they want the war to continue because they don't even think that if they meet us to talk with us, it will bring them the palmarès and their population will lose that respect and fear for them. So there is this politics also going on in Cameroon. So you see the Cameroon government is against the Switzerland process. And it thinks that it can prove to them through their own national dialogue that the solution can come through that position because Ambazonians are not even mature enough to resist or to know what they want. So they think that they can give small money here and bring some Amba boys and show to the international community that they can solve this problem and bring back the resumption of the exploitation of our resources without necessarily giving us independence. So they have bring their solution to give us a special status. That is the solution of Paul Biya. The French government have rejected that dialogue. The Switzerland government, the whole world have said, Paul Biya and your Beti and Bulu people, you are wrong. You need to go to the Switzerland and negotiate with these people and give them real federalism. It is not about independence, it is still federalism. Because we have not, according to their standard, live up to expectation that can give them incentives to give us independence. So the Switzerland is really about a little bit federalism, while the dialogue in Cameroon is purely decentralization. We are fighting against both of them because both of them don't give us what our people have demanded us to stand for, which is independent. And you may want to reason if we have strong backing for independent cause. Yes, of course we do. We have heard the argument that was put forth by Ambassador Cohen when he was challenged by Amba News regarding when he talked about the root causes. What was the root causes? He said that it was about the unlawful constitutional change that took place in 1972. He was pressed at that point, and due to that interaction with Amba News, he actually revealed to us credible, interesting depth about what America knows about our situation, which is a position that have not been well articulated. He actually says the root cause of Ambazonia problem is not just according to the 1972 position of the illegal referendum, but the problem is that Cameroon, Southern Cameroon territory was a class B, category B territory, the same like La République du Cameroon. So under international law, we were supposed to have our independence. The plebiscite is supposed to have the option of independence according to international law. But the British people connived with the United Nations and France to remove that option. That is the root cause of our problem. That means our problem is that we don't have access to what we deserve. Independence was supposed to be the natural option because we're category B territory, which is very interesting. So we should be rest sure that the Americans know that we deserve independence. They know that. But have we demonstrated to the international community that yes, we deserve it? And now we are in the crossroad because we have already beat Cameroon on the ground. We have removed all their political administrator, and the world have accepted that yes, Ambazonia is a contender. Ambazonia deserves to have this case heard. What do we want? Can we give them independence or not? Pobia is demonstrating that I can bring them here and I can show that I can bring them to Yaoundé and then the thing will be solved without independence. The French government and the Switzerland government, they are showing the Americans and the international community that no, you don't need to give them independence because it is capable for us to give them federalism. So we have these two options presented to us, which is what I call, one is yes, one is we. Switzerland is yes, France is we. It is also a fake choice. Ayaba Cho is right. Seseko and Yerima, they are right. We don't have to accept any of this choice. Remember what Obama said. For freedom to come, the common man have to demand what he wants. So much, so strong, so clearly that there will be no room for political compensation, for political manipulation, for political compromise. It means that us, the grassroots Ambazonia, us, the activists, us, the people in ground zero, us, the restoration fighters, the pro-independent fighters, the ADF, the RKs, all the fighters, General Ebube, all of us, we have to demonstrate in a way that will send a message to the international community that we will not accept any compromise from our rights to have our full plate. That is a message we have to send to the international community. We must say no to a Swiss process that can give us federalism. We must say no to the process of dialogue that is going to give us a special status. We must reject both of them equally and send a message to the international community. It is independence for Southern Cameroon today. It is independence for Ambazonia today, or resistance forever. If the international community wants to do business with our petroleum, they want to do business with our cocoa, with our coffee, with our bauxite, with our uranium, they must recognize that Ambazonia is mature enough to handle itself and be a responsible partner in international community. Yes, we have demonstrated already. It is now acceptable. It is now a fact in the diplomatic corridors that the Republic of Cameroon cannot guarantee any exploitation of our process, of our product. We have demonstrated that La République du Cameroon cannot administer Ambazonia directly anymore. It is no longer possible for French citizens of La République du Cameroon to mount administrative posts in Ambazonia. They have tried over 3 years and they have failed. We have kicked out all their DOs and their SDOs. We have shut down all their authorized schools. We have shut down all their institutions. And now the world have to decide. Ambazonia, your resilience have to tell the world if we are ready for this or not. Your resilience have to tell the world if we are ready for this or not. We must reject the Switzerland Federation proposal to give us federalism. We must reject Mr. Pobia giving to us special status equally. We have shown so through the Independence Day parades, and we must do so again. We must do so again. The United Nations, I'm giving you now an intelligence report. This is an intelligence report. I dedicate this segment to General Mba Ivo, our brave heart, our national hero, the symbol of Ambazonia resilience. The first generation, the first blood of those who have risen to fight the enemy and die, willing to pay the ultimate price so that others will live. Jesus Christ, the Messiah, the Rabbi, says how lovely it is, how honorable it is for one man to lay his life for his friend to leave. These are the brave heart. These are the sense Ambazonia will owe the lives of General Ivor. We are going to owe the lives of General Amigo and all the brave soldiers who have paid the ultimate price for our freedom, our dignity. We are going to honor them forever. In dedication to General Amba Ivor, I bring to you this intelligent report. The U.S. government have seen La République du Cameroon's plan to attack and launch heavy-scale military attack on Ambazonia, following the declaration in Bamenda by a joint task force that Ambazonia have won the war and La République du Cameroon have lost. They have failed to decimate our soldiers within the timeline that they had given the international community. They have failed to retain their SDO in our territory. They have tried to install them and we win them. After that, they have decided that the only way to go forth is to bring in artillery, bring in heavy weapons, to use bombs and attack our forces. They are planning to do so subsequently after Mr. Pobia is going to declare a special status for Ambazonia. We now understand from intelligence report that the United States of America have told Mr. Pobia not to deploy any troops that was trained by American soldiers in the northern part of Cameroon that were given to them to fight against Boko Haram. We now heard that the U.S. government have said that none of those troops should be deployed in this our region for this battle. So they have refused Cameroon government from using those troops. So Cameroon government have a problem now with troops. We also now understand that the troops that the Cameroon government recruited last year, the 2,000 troops and then the 1,000 troops that were recruited in the B, was sponsored by the United Nations organization because they want to send them to Central African Republic. The United Nations have also cautioned Mr. Pobia that all those troops that were recruited and trained, that was financed by the United Nations, should not be sent to Ambazonia. We now understand that the only troops that the Cameroon government have just come in from China. They have learned to use new weapons and they are planning to be deployed on the field. So La République du Cameroon have a shortage of army. That's why they don't have the capability to surround even one state in Ambazonia. So we still have advantage. We still have advantage because of all these things. These are the advantage we have. Our boys knows the terrain. They have learned over the years how to survive. They have learned the guerrilla tactics. But they have to still learn more. Their ability to run after their granite is finished. They have to do a better job. And I say it in public because there are some groups that are not hearing 12. There are some groups that are individuals. There are some groups that are under people who are in the diaspora. So you must tell your soldiers, they must learn how to hide and retreat when they run short of granite. They should not run like you are running away from something because bullets can meet them. Many of them died because they don't know how to retreat. They have to retreat systematically, be patient, run only behind stones, behind the hills. That way you'll be protected against the bullet. Because La République du Cameroon, their bullets can go and kill you over 100 meters. While our troops are now equipped with AK-47, but their weapons are not as strong like those of La République du Cameroon. So it is important that our troops are being told over and over because they don't listen to people. They take everything like so lightly. We have to insist to them. Retreating when you come back from attack, you must do so by hiding behind stones. Not behind planted tree, not behind grass. The bullet will kill them. We have seen them, even the acid, Boss Acid who died. He was shot from the behind running with bike. You cannot go and run away with the motorbike from operation. The bike should be very far. The bike should be very far. So they have to understand those tactics. I dedicate this segment to General Ivor. We have been preaching and helping our boys to give them this educational material so that they can stay alive and defend the villages against terrorism from La République du Cameroon. Attacks must be done in multiple fronts. You cannot attack only in one direction, or you cannot block them when you cannot resist them. When they attack La République, you must give the La République way to run away. Because if you push the dog towards the wall, it will fight you in a way that you may not be able to resist him, even though the dog is afraid of you. So multiple front of attack with a way out for La Republique to retreat. They attack them like this, the one that they can neutralize and stop them from terrorizing our people, they neutralize. But they should allow them way to run. They can also plan ambush using the explosive that they have acquired. Plan ambush. When they are running, you plan well-coordinated ambush when they are running away. Don't attack them and die for nothing unnecessarily. Make sure that if they want to kill our person, it should be you have done everything humanly possible to stay alive. It is illegal under international law to send people for suicide mission. Before any commander or any general or anybody in the diaspora authorize or send people for mission, he should make sure that he has taken his time, not just to push them to go and fight, but to give them education on how to stay alive. Let La République du Cameroon die for their country. Let Ambazonia soldiers live to see our independence. We are not there just to push them anyhow. No, we value their life. We need them alive. They should defend themselves and defend the country. So, we also have to up our game to report the atrocities to the mainstream media and to the United Nations organizations. Ambazonians in the diaspora, that is your main job. Every time we receive those messages, now the traffic have reduced. When you receive them, save the number of Al Jazeera, save the number of BBC, save the number of Fox News, save the number of Amnesty International, save the number of the United Nations, save the number of the White House. When you receive those news every day about people being killed, your villages being raped, send those videos to those organizations so that they will hear our plight. They will hear our plight. I've talked about Herman Cohen's position. Herman Cohen has given us the most powerful defense of Ambazonia independence. I was shocked. I never think about it this way. Because Godidinka, his position is that Ambazonia unity with La République du Cameroon did not necessarily need to have a union treaty because we united through a constitutional unity. So the act of La République du Cameroon for illegally changing the constitution means that La République du Cameroon have seceded from the union. That was their position, and that was the position of the SCNC. But the position of the SCYL and many of the new organizations was that we don't even have a union with them in the first place. We don't even have, because we didn't sign any document in a Fumban conference. And that is the position also of Justice Ayaba Cho, that there is no union treaty. But this position of Herman Cohen is very interesting, and I think it's true. Herman Cohen said that the root cause of Ambazonians' problem is not the withdrawal of secession of La République du Cameroon. It is not the constitutional amendment that was illegal, but it was the mafia that took place before the plebiscite. That the plebiscite itself is illegal and was not based on any legality. The validation of the plebiscite was wrong and was based on manipulation and lies from the British government. So we have to rescind. In legal terms, from my small knowledge studying for my 2 years in law and political science in Chang, it says that we have rescind. Rescinding means you come out of an agreement that you don't want, or an agreement that was forced on you. And in rescinding, you have to consider the damages caused, because now we have gone and the United Nations have put us with La République like one country. La République du Cameroon have carried out some responsibility that they didn't need to carry. How do you compensate on them? That is where we will discuss in the negotiation table about give and take. Maybe we give them some concession here, okay, because you have been with us, just like the colonial time. But it's going to be different, because the colonial deals were based on the fact that the colonial power had invested money to build our roads and all those type of things. So they expected us to pay them back some amount of money for a period of time. So we have to be ready that when we negotiate with La République du Cameroon, we may need to give them our petrol for some time. We must pay them back for the time that they have been controlling our territory. They can say the road that they were repairing is so and so amount of money. We must know that it must be, negotiation will be give and take. Negotiation will be give and take. So my last presentation is talking about the forgiveness of Ambazonia. We need to forgive. But before I go to that last presentation, I want to talk about the troops in Gaza. We have seen the troops who were in Gaza, who have been pitched against the ADF. They have come out. The general who was there was not arrested. He had an encounter with General Efang, and they talked to him like a brother. They interviewed him and they let him go. They did not hold him by force. And now we have seen that the troops in Gaza, they have gathered themselves and they make a video and they say that where Ambazonia motel on the truth na say that General Ivor be start dating for a year. Mami no fi born a Pekin, then another man can take the Pekin. Of course, General Ivor na ADF. He'd work for ADF. So they then decided they will come back for ADF. How many activists they own around and they don't share that video? How many of them? When I go look how many people they don't share that video, when I'm not saying that true people, then this one are lie people them. When I first judge their credibility for that one. So now I want to talk about two things. Before I talk about forgiveness, I want to talk about why La République du Cameroon invite all Ambazonians for the national dialogue. Of course, I was one of the first people who publicized my own invitation, because you know me, I'm not KUNNY. I'm not there for KUNNY talk. I'm not there for KUNNY thing. They send me invitation, I reply them very well. I not just reply them first. I first of all contacted the leaders. I tell them that these are the invitation these people have sent to me. This is what I want to reply to them. And what do you have to say? So that if I will figure it in my reply to them. And I did that. And I did that. And I want to submit to the Ambazonia people that the fact that La République du Cameroon invited everybody, invited me, I don't know whether they invited, there are some people who didn't see the invitation, but we know that before they print your invitation, they have contacted you. They contacted me by telephone. They call me and they say, hey, Capo Daniel, we want to invite you for the national dialogue. Please check your email. We have sent you an email. We know your email. This is your email. We have sent you an email. Check the email. Reply to us back. We want you to come there. We will guarantee your safety, your security, all these things, logistic, to tell you that there will be some small soya there also to make you to come there. And I was very clear with them. I was saying, why did you invite me? They said, no, because we recognize that you are a voice in this struggle, like that. I said, okay. Do you recognize me that I'm an ambassador for Seseko IG? Do you recognize me that I am an aide to Dr. Ayaba Cho Lucas? These are the people who qualify to negotiate with you, not me. These are the people who qualify to dialogue with you, not me. I am just an opinion shaper. I'm just an activist. We can debate. You can debate with me like an activist. You must be sure who you want to talk with me like who. I'm saying this because it's so important. We have seen that Eric Tato have received delegations from Cameroon Parliament. It is not appropriate. It's not appropriate for them to invite all of us. It is a sign that it is a weakness, that they can contact everybody from behind. It is a weakness that we have failed to project the leaders. I'm not afraid of all these leaders. I am sense past king. I not go talk say I not get sense past some of them. Of course, I get sense past some of them. I not get big belele, white chair, or big beard, and when you go feel the stereotype. But I get sense past them. But we must know say for we for succeed. It no matter and I say you overget sense or not. If you are wise, you will understand that it is important for us to have one man in front for talk on all of our behalf. If you get sense, you must understand the need for put some man for before. If our ego always wanna say me the yena for me. I must did it for TV. They must show my own platform. They must hear my own voice. My name must did it. When they want to do that thing, they must see me as stand for corner. Then we go fail. Because it then become a weakness. The fact that our enemy go ahead, invite all activists them. And then all man they reply le na be boss. All man they reply le na be boss. Now weakness. We need to be able to project our leader. Not be personality course. We need to tell them say no, talk to our leader. This is our leader or leaders. Talk to them. The person who is supposed to invite me for a negotiation or dialogue is supposed to be our leaders, not our enemy. That is a weakness. If Ambazonia for them, they think it is a pride that they have invited me, they have invited this one, they are talking to me, they are sending me this, they are sending me that. They may think that genuinely, but it is not a strong thing. It shows weakness. Now they are going to select the the generals on the ground who are vulnerable, to take them to Switzerland. I know that they will not succeed with the ones on the ground, because those on the ground are hardcore patriots. But there are some who are in Nigeria on retirement. I say this so that you'll be wise. Don't send your money to soldiers who are in Nigeria because you want to support Ground Zero. Otherwise, they will take your money and just pay their hotel. But they deserve our support because they are patriots, they are veterans. Some of them have wounds. Some of them have committed crimes that they cannot go back and face their soldiers. They will be arrested by their own soldiers. Some of them have blood of our heroes in their hands. If we want to support them, we support them because they have served our nation and they deserve support for them to sustain their life and live in dignity in Nigeria or wherever, or Ghana, wherever they are. But if our intention is to support Ground Zero, we should support the ones who are in Ground Zero doing the fighting. I've seen many people collecting money to send to soldiers who are on retirement, and they keep on striking deals. Some of those soldiers even took their sticks and granates to Ground One, and they sell it back to other soldiers. We know all those things. Because we don't say it does not mean that we don't want to put them pressure. But our people have to wise. Now, those are the primary targets to be taken to go and negotiate in Switzerland. They have brought some of them in Ghana already. So we have to educate our people to know that it is for the interest of us all to have somebody, a single person or a structure of leaders to speak on our behalf. I cannot be speaking this way. Mark Barata is speaking this way. Eric Tato is speaking this way. Tapang Ivor is speaking this way. Eugene Ufoka is speaking this way. Lucas Asu is speaking this way. Colonel Vela is speaking this way. It would show that we are immature and we are not capable to give incentive for people to choose the independent as an option for our struggle. We must be humble to put one person in front, project the person, assist the person, support the person, and express ourselves through that person. We express ourselves, a leader will represent the voice of the people, the voice of the activists, the voice of the various constituencies, the voice of the various forces, the voice of the various groups. That is why I insist and I demand from Ayaba Cho and Seseko, they owe the Ambazonia people a revolutionary council. They need to give us an institution. I refuse to accept collaboration. Yes, collaboration is one of the forms of unity, but I refuse to settle with collaboration. Ayaba Cho and Seseko, they owe us a memorandum of understanding to tell us what is the formula for the unity and collaboration between the IGO and the AGOFC. I say this as an independent activist. I don't say this like an ambassador. I don't say this like an aide to the ADF. I put Ambazonia first and I say we demand transparency. We demand signature on the paper. Where is the meeting that was supposed to take place in America, called by a Bine Christian, between Ayaba Cho and Yerima? Yes, we have seen them gone to England, and it was good. The people there fought so hard to remove Honorable Weber. We needed these leaders to come together with a memorandum of understanding so that we can know the terms and know who is betraying who is not standing for us, the people. We need that. We need that from them. So I am demanding it publicly because we are trying privately and I'm not satisfied with the pace. I'm not satisfied with the pace. There are some people in the AGC who are so partisan that everything they see about the IG is wrong. There are some people in the IG, in Seseko's own, their own is that only government. We are government now, we're not supposed to come the way. We must stop all that nonsense and put Cameroon first. Put Ambazonia first. There are other ones. Hey, Seseko na president, oh, we don't want anything where you go mix it, Seseko no be president. Hey, Ayaba Cho na CICO, we don't want anything where you go take Ayaba Cho power. No. Ayaba Cho already show say he get open hard way in a big complex. They suffer from inferiority complex. We say if the PSA go corner Seseko, do one go take. No, it already demonstrate them. Now for agency for support Ayaba Cho for this process. When I see how they go for Ground Zero, ADF downstairs shout Seseko name. How is sweet. Seseko in name be done die. Sakoda be done already kill him. All man shout, Seseko, our president. Even though they talk, na president, you know me saying na president because the title, original title for the IG na interim president. Any man don't talk on my president. Nope, I know you know if you fight that one. But we need things, legalize things them. Ayaba Cho, that always been noted for legal thing. When I see how they appoint Lucas Asu, they sending official letter. Legality is the best way to guarantee continuality and principle. You must always put things in writing in a nice way. That is the things that Milan used to bring here, even though na name will be controversial. We need that process of legality. You are in abroad, you know how things are done. We need orderliness. So what I want to talk about this closing statement is that we need forgiveness. We need to forgive. We need to forgive Samuel Sako for stealing my trip to Boya. I'm saying this because it is difficult for me. This is somebody who wanted me dead. This is somebody who sent Amba boys to intimidate my family. And I told you people, I gave him the number. And he asked me, bring me the receipt of your family for my trip to Boya. This is somebody who contacted an Ambazonia Defense Force and gave them 2,000 because he wants them to go after my family if they cannot get me in Hong Kong. But I am here today to tell Ambazonia that we need to forgive Samuel Sako. We need to forgive Ebenezer Panga. We need to forgive Bo Herbert for the sake of Ambazonia. Because I have received intelligence that La République du Cameroon, even Mancho BBC, is using our anger. They are telling them that if Ambazonia have independence, they are not going to have a place there. We are going to arrest them. Just imagine that me, Capo Daniel, I have said it clear already that the people that hands were chopped off in Miselele, there is a woman there who was in the hospital. I removed money from my pocket. I still have the receipt. I have all the testimony. I paid 250,000 for surgery for that woman who have that baby. His hand was chopped off because of Eric Tato. And I have promised Eric Tato in public and in private that he will be tried for that crimes. Over 300 people's hands who were cut off. If not in Ambazonia, he will be tried in the International Criminal Court. I think that was a little bit wrong because he will now know that if we go to Ambazonia, what if Ayaba Cho become powerful and I have some influence with the Attorney General? I will recommend that they should try them and they'll put them in prison. They'll put them in prison. They'll put Sako in prison for the treason that the crime he committed against Seko. That coup d'etat was a treasonous attack. You go to prison. So because of that hard line, La République du Cameroon is appealing to them that Ambazonian independence will not even benefit you because you cannot come you there back. If Ambazonia have independence today, those crimes will come up. Evidence will come up. The generals have already testified. We must forgive them. And we believe, I'm advocating that our leaders should assure Sako that he will not be tried for the crimes and the mistakes of this revolution. That Eric Tato will not be tried for his mistakes in this revolution. Anybody who have made some mistake, that there will be some process of, you need justice to have peace. But any process to bring justice will not bring them prison terms, will not bring anybody should be arrested. I say so with a deep pain in my heart because there are people who would want them to be tried for the death of General Mba Ivor. There are people in the ADF who still have that pain in their heart. There are also some people who have that pain of those people who trigger the Gozang incident, who provoke the Gozang incident. There are some people who see General Efang on the ground lying with blood dripping from his foot. They know the sacrifices that those ADF people have done. There are people who have seen the people who were killed, the Godfather. I didn't forget the fighters that were killed by the Red Dragons. Those ADF those Tigers fighters who were tortured. 9 of them were executed and pushed inside water because they wanted to make Field Marshal. All those people have died. I believe in their death, their ultimate reason was because they want Ambazonia to be free. They want the people of Ambazonia to live in a country where they can express themselves celebrate their history without the fear of political persecution, torture, arrest, and humiliation from a foreign party. And I believe forgiving the crimes against them will allow us to attain that goal, because not forgiving these people will make them susceptible to blackmail from La République du Cameroon, and they may be motivated to even go and join the Switzerland program because we are not forgiving. With the hope that somehow La République du Cameroon is going to empower them, give them weapons to take control of our territory and govern it on their behalf, because the international community have come to the conclusion that Cameroon government and its citizens can no longer administer our country. So these people can go there, they are empowered, they are emboldened, and they will take blood deal that will stain their hand. They will go there, they will crush us up, they will consider us nationalists as extremists, and they will come after Ayaba Cho, they will assassinate Ayaba Cho, they will assassinate me, and they will assassinate a lot of people who hold the dream and are protector and vanguards for Ambazonia independence. It is imperative that we forgive Sako. And I will tell you, Sako, I forgive you. I will tell you, Mr. Eric Tato, I forgive you. I forgive you for... I forgive those who are in Nigeria who betrayed Ivor, General Ivor. I forgive you. I forgive you, Akwanga, for your hatred for Ayaba Cho. I beg you, leave the Switzerland process. Ambazonians can have independence. We don't need to settle for federalism. We don't need to surrender because you have lost Sokadev. Do not betray the people. Do not betray the sacrifices of General Ngoy. The sacrifice of Mba Ivor, because it will be a way out for you. It will be a way out to protect Sako, to be able to go back to Ambazonia and be protected by the United Nations and some forces that will be supported by French government, together with Maurice Kamto. We know about the plan to replace Pobia with Maurice Kamto and the granting of autonomy to Ambazonia and empowering of forces that are loyal to you guys to manage the territory for them. We know about the grand plan. We know about those plans. I beg you, if we want to finish this struggle, let it be one for all for one. If we say that it is independence, let all of us stand there for independence. If they want to make any deal, we will do it as a country, as a people, without betraying the trust of those who have gone ahead of us. And I appeal to Mark Barata. You are a patriot. People like Santos, we have seen the video of Santos. We know he's a patriot. There are patriots who are nation builders, but they are politicians in their heart. They are not revolutionary. They don't have a backbone to withstand the heat, to receive the insults, the pain. They don't have the backbone. I appeal to you. I beg you, Papa. I beg you, Sako. Sako, I beg you. I call you, Papa. Don't betray us for your own safety. Don't betray us. General Nambere, don't betray us for your own safety. I beg on Benedict Kwa, Sheikh Harvey. I beg for Ayaba Cho, forgive them. Give them pardon. Send out signals to them not to choose the way of the enemy because they want to feel safe. They also want to come back home. They want to feel safe. They want to come back home. We have seen Santos, people who were susceptible to follow the corruption of Sako, were this type of people like Santos. Santos is not different from Waters Fondo in Europe. These are patriots. It's like the girl, they call her, is it Susie? Is it Susie? The one who was ambassador. All of those people are patriots. They love Ambazonia. We have seen the Mark Barata love Ambazonia. But deep in their heart, they are not revolutionary. They are politicians who always pander to their own interests. And the enemy is exploiting that. I'm coming to you as a saver. I'm not looking for anything in this struggle. I'm just being honest to you. I'm telling you frankly speaking what is going on. I've never lied to you before. Never. I've never come with the intention to lie or to say things for politics. Some people may perceive it that way, but to be honest with you, I have not. You can ask them. Anybody who said I've slandered them, I've not said anything that is not based on information that I received that I believe in. I don't come out just to lie for people or to make people go down or up. I have supported Sako. I've supported. Imagine when I was supporting Seseko Ayoktabi. I supported Seseko Ayoktabi because I believe that we were rising up as a people and we need that one leader. And when I was thinking, Ayaba Cho, this guy was so, what is he talking about? Eventually, I listened to him. I reasoned what they were reasoning. And I believe that they were right. And today, I took that stand with them. Even the top 8 Castellan, we have admitted that there was a wrong being done in forming the IG. And the Secretariat participated in that. Nalova B, Ata Milan, they participated in that wrong. They were doing so maybe because of whatever reason, but it was wrong. We have come around. Let us forgive each other and put our country first. I plead for those who are in the Switzerland process. I plead with Mark Barata. Think about the consequence of what you are doing. If in your heart you believe that the Switzerland process as it is, can give us independence, then advise us to go there. I believe it cannot because of the reason I've outlined. It is an informal process. It is not a formal process. We cannot get into such a program knowing fully well that it is not capable of giving us independence. We must stand and demand for the full plate from the international community. We must demand it. It is very hard for me to take this position that we need to forgive. It is very hard because in my mind, I know that we need justice, even for the dead. We need justice to have the peace. We need justice for lasting peace. In my mind, I believe that because if we don't ask justice for our people, why should we be asking it for La Republic? But we must have some compromise with our people that we cannot have with La Republic. There must be the things you do as a family. Blood is thicker than water, as they say. We should be able to have some level of forgiveness. We may say we may want to know the truth of who betrayed General Mba Ivor. We may say we may want to know the truth of those who had eaten money, those who have used politics to position themselves and have caused the death of our people. But we should have some way in our heart. Gambetta, I believe it from my heart, my brother. Because if we do not forgive them, these people will be susceptible for blackmail by La République du Cameroon, their intelligence. And they are going to sell us in Switzerland because they want to protect themselves. It is for the interest of those who have died and those who want us to have independence for us to do that. It is for Ivor as well. We may not have the justice that he deserves, but we should remember that his ultimate goal is independence. If we say that, okay, we will not forgive Sako, we will not forgive Ebenezer for the treasonous act they are doing in Switzerland, and then they will also say, okay, if they don't forgive us, they have independence and they are empowered, they are going to arrest us, they are going to try us. We will still be the way we are today. Why not us just go and make a deal with La République du Cameroon and have a chance to go back to our country, our homeland? They are all just people who are like us. They want to go home. They want to go home. Let us look for a way. Let Ayaba Cho look for a way to give a signal that as hard as he is on principle, he is also willing and able to open his heart like Nelson Mandela did to have reconciliation among South Africans and say that we need truth. We will need to pay for the families of Ivor, to pay for the families of Amigos, the families of our brave warriors for centuries. But we need to forgive, we need to unite. Because if we don't, we will be betrayed by people who are capable of betraying us. They will give us... I remember when I spoke to the BBC head in Nigeria, and he advised me about this day. He told me that, young man, you're a smart guy. There is a day that is going to come when they will want the people who are controlling your country, they will offer some concession. And usually what happened in the history is that the people who are the hard line will be killed somehow, some way. Those who will be softer and more prone to manipulation will accept the deal, and they'll go there and they'll rule the country for them. That is what was done in Patrice Lumumba. You saw how they killed him, his friends killed him for the white people. But I believe that in Asia it did not work because they were patriotic and they came together as one. In Vietnam, they could not find somebody who could betray them. So if we as Ambazonia, the first democracy in Africa, the first people to have peaceful transition of power, if we can break this curse in Africa and demonstrated that we can say truly one for all for one, and we take this common position, put a common leadership in front of the community, we are going to beat the system and have our independence to be the first independent country in Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, I've come to the end of my presentation. The phone line is open for anybody who wants to call. You can call my mobile, the number I've provided, for comment. If within 5 minutes we don't have the call, I had blocked it, I've opened it now, the phone call can come in. If nobody called to comment, I will stop it. But please express yourself about the issue I've presented to you and the need of forgiveness. You can call the hotline number, not my personal number. I forgot this number of this phone. Let me check. This number, this WhatsApp number. Okay, the number is, you add +852 96 85 8203. You can call me directly and then you express yourself. This phone number, I don't carry it out of my house. Most of the time it is off. A lot of people have tried to reach me through that number. It does not work. I have a private number that I can send to people who really needs to talk to me. So please, if you listen to Eric Tato or all these people, you tell them that Capo Daniel have said that I have forgiven them, and I have asked the leadership in jail and the AGC, I've asked them, request them as an aid to forgive them and send them a signal that we are willing to put aside any crimes that might have been committed, and the generals who are in Nigeria, to tell them that we are also willing to forgive those who have killed Ambazonia troops on the ground and those who have killed civilians and raped them. There are some troops there who have cut off hands, who were part of those who were cutting off hands as well. We have forgiven them, and they should not betray Ambazonia. They should not go to Switzerland if they are given the opportunity because they want to be part of it. So my line is open for phone call. Within the next 5 minutes, I will do some few round or recap of what I've said. We have a caller. We have our first caller. Hold on. Hello, comrade. You are on the No KUNNY Talk show and you are on the line. Everybody can hear you. Go ahead. No, they're fine. Match fire. All man hear you.
Some of the contact you like come they hear. They come for your line. Like, yeah. So when you talk about forgiveness, talk to me the forgive them. So me, Ayaba Cho forgive now who and make reconcile with who.
Yeah, I talk say no be say me Ayaba Cho forgive them. Because Ayaba Cho na just a leader for one of the movement. I think so will be the main revolutionary leader will be credible when it comes for uncompromising of the choice of independence. I think say he need forgive a signal. No be say me forgive them. He need forgive a signal for them that any crimes or anything that could be held against them if we have independence will not be something that will be prosecuted will not have jail sentence, and nobody will be thrown in jail because of those things.
For instance, for example, if we were to quote an example about somebody, give me just one example.
I'll give you two.
Let's see, because forgiveness is.
Let me give you two.
It's true.
Let me give you two.
Human to forgive is divine.
Let me give you two forgiveness things that we have to forgive. The first one is the killing. I'll give you three. The first one is those who participated to give intelligence for the assassination of General Amba. It has to be. They have to give a clear signals, because there are generals in Nigeria who cannot come back home because of that case. They have to tell everybody that it is if you have anything with General Ivor's death, if you don't betray Ambazonia going forward, you should not be tried if we have independence and if Ayaba Cho have anything to do with power. Number two is those Eric Tato and the Gary process, the people whose hands were chopped off. We have on the record 300 people whose hands were chopped off from Tico, Miselele, and all those camps in CDC. Those people, I have some of their testimony. We have to tell Eric Tato that we cannot try him for any crimes of that nature in Ambazonia. We have to give him that signal. We can forgive him for those things. We can compensate those people, but the truth will come out. He will have to reverse those policies going forward. Those generals that participated in some of those hand chopping of who are also in Nigeria, we need to tell them that they can come home. We will not ask any soldiers to arrest them. They will not be tried. And then we also have the My Trip to Boya, Samuel Sako's betrayal of My Trip to Boya, the embezzlement and the power grab away from Siseko. That is a treason for him to overthrow Siseko, to attempt to overthrow Siseko. That is a treason. Siseko needs to send, Yerima needs to send a signal to Sako that he will never be tried in case Siseko is empowered with any administrative power in Ambazonia about what he has done in this revolution. Those are the three examples I can quote to you. I believe we need that level of forgiveness. Otherwise, these people will go to Switzerland because of their head, not Ambazonia. Go ahead.
Wow, that is very, very, very wise of you. Now, to say we very sense past king. Now, we tell you, now, you know, who shouldn't talk this kind of talk.
You know, I have advisors in this my platform. Some of whom are administrators who have worked with Jongu Foncha. Some of whom are lawyers. Some of whom are frontline leaders who take interest in my advocacy, and they do actively consult with me and participate with me in what I do. So everything I say is things that comes from advice and also from myself. And I believe that we really do need this spirit of forgiveness. We really do need that.
Yeah, especially this idea make people like Sakoda be forgiven. It be very important because I know say what way it be do or what way it group be doing for that time when they be stand up, or because if today Sisiko be there for prison for life, where they put the sentence, they actually get courage for sentence. Now after somebody will get courage for stand up where they on the front line where people the world, but they look up to that group and say this is people who are representing Southern Cameroonians, and they say we don't impeach this guy, get no value for us again. And so they will give great room for La Republic for take advantage of that, for convicted the way they be convicted. Nevertheless, we are still in the race. My advice, in addition to what way you they talk truly, it is we declare ourselves forgiving one another. We forgive one another. Fighting within us, or being too stiff-necked is not going to help. It's not going to help none of us. Instead, it will help our opponent. Even at all, we know the opponent can never win the war, but it will delay we a lot. We not only do them as a medium for get some freedom, but we will do them sincerely from our hearts. Forgive our brothers. They don't make mistake.
Yeah.
Like we say, to make all those mistakes be human, but to forgive is divine. If we need God to intervene again, we get for be as a people and we really forgive these people. I'm not going to tell you, like, I don't talk with some of them. I try to call for get their minds for unity. The way they harden their hearts, it will be too strong, where I think there's some fear inside what way. It will cause them to harden their heart. Not actually because they don't want to, but they get fear. I see within the spirit that they get fear for actually humble themselves and actually walk with Mr. Ayaba, whom they've pushed down, etc., etc. Nevertheless, I just hope say what you are trying to do should go through to our brothers and sisters of Ambazonia. Really follow up this issue, make there be some kind of reconciliation among ourselves, and let there be unity. So may they form a good platform where they stand for true.
Yes.
Because when we talk about for true, because when some group they go for this side, some group they go this side, some group they go this side, some group they go that side, and it'll be a kind of confused state.
Yeah, okay,
they're looking for some kind of confused state because most of the time we talk or ask questions about Ambazonia. I'm talking about international radios. Sometimes they consult with Brother Chris and Anu. They'll call B, and then he will give. He will stand firm. He will talk very firm. He will talk like he talk for some corny way. But like we understand, somebody can speak in the public, but we don't know what is happening in the background because most of the deals they actually take place when people don't know.
Exactly.
We should be up here. We should be openly talking our own mind, being straight. But somebody talk with a coded language where it be the one we will not understand. That's my prayer all the time.
Okay,
we really need to be
thank
free
you very much
from this terrible
thank you so much,
condition where we inside. Our people, they suffer. I beg our frontline leaders, say if they truly want us to be free, make humility come inside. Make people to humble themselves, because the Bible itself talks say pride goes before a fall. If you read
but my brother, I think say since you don't talk to with 9 minutes.
It'd be easy for you to fall. It'd be easy for you to be tempted. It'd be easy for you to be carried away.
So my brother, I think say you don't talk for 10 minutes though.
A strong nation, a good nation, based.
Well, I don't cut you, but he did talk very nice thing. And comrade, I really appreciate your phone call. But I just need to call you because you don't take more than 9 minutes. So somebody else call, more get this one your own opinion. Okay. Hello, comrade. You are on the line on the no KUNNY talk zone. Match fire.
Yes, Mr. Capo. I don't hear you this night I'm calling you from the US.
Okay.
So I don't hear you. You talk this is. I don't watch your show, but you don't talk very well. The spirit for apologize, like very difficult thing. That it took the mantle for apologize for everyone. Some people don't feel like, hey, they make that KUNNY and stuff like that, but you don't do your part, and I don't see sincerity in your part. So the two then I say. You talk about the fact that Ayaba Cho, if he get power, he will be like he will forgive some people there because of some certain crime the way they don't commit them. For me, nice agenda, but when you talk so, it be like say he do already get a position for the new Ambazonia who will fight for.
Okay, I think say maybe I don't come across. My brother, if you wait for 1 minute, I do explain them. Yeah, you did like I not come across properly. I not talk say me Ayaba Cho forgive because he not get the power. Maybe he control the country now. He never been a president. I talk say like a representation of the unfiltered of the leadership. Make it send a signal, including Siseko. Me then send a signal. Say Sako, Eric Tato, or any person where it don't be say if he get the fear. Say they feel prosecuted for Ambazonia or they feel arrested for crime the way they commit them during this period, or responsibility them for things the way it be considered as crime during this period go be forgiven. No man no go for prison for Ambazonia because he chop my trip to Boya. Or say me the arrest Eric Tato because he bring Gary process or all this type of thing. I think say the leadership, Ayaba Cho and Siseko, they need for send a signal for those people then, because not doing so will make them be susceptible for La République du Cameroon their blackmail and forget them make some kind of compromises then with the enemy where they know for do them. If them be assured say their security they will be firm in check. If to say the coalition between the IG and the Advocacy end up be the one the way them establish Ambazonia. So I'm not talking say me they forgive them, but they need to send that signal say no, or give that assurance say they not go arrest any person if to say they ever come corner power.
Okay, a very brilliant point, But well, I find as we forge for collaboration and unity, because honestly, some of we would just watch from a background, we do one small contribution for the background, maybe for one or two people, which would feel the impact what we see when I don't put our face out there, when I talk this man, they talk that man who can't castigate this man can't castigate that one. Honestly, would it be like really these people they not be serious, because the unity, if unity not there, will not go no far. Even though we'll go far, but it will take us a long time. Well, I don't talk too much, but I want to just tell you, sir, I don't watch your show this night. You were very, very encouraging. You were very, very straight to the point, and keep up with the good work. Keep up with the good work.
Thank
you for your time, and stay blessed and stay safe too.
God bless you. I will thank that caller. If somebody do not call almost instantly, I think within the 5 minutes, I will just round up, and then we go. Somebody have given an audio. So we'll hear the audio, but if somebody called, somebody's calling. So let's get this caller. Hello, comrade. You are on the no connect talk zone. You can speak directly. No need to greet everybody. Oh, woman of God, Immaculate. You can call. Don't call my mobile number. Call the other number, Mrs. Immaculate. Yes. Go ahead, comrade. We can hear you.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity to participate on your show, on this platform, No Connect Talk Show. I follow the show quite often, all the time, as a matter of fact. But I wanted to commend you for taking the posture and position that you've taken in terms of talking about forgiveness for certain individuals that have played one role or the other in delaying the quest for Ambazonian freedom. So, but in any case, I have the hesitation that these individuals will in any way change, especially it seems like when certain people have certain characters, they feel or they tend not to be ashamed of what they've done and generally will proceed to do the things that they've always done anyway. But I think that sending them that signal may not necessarily change their position, but it is still a really very profound act that you have done, and for which we really do applaud you for. This day will be remembered by Ambazonians and all over the place for these actions, and it also goes to show the respectful position in which you take. Not everybody can come to a place where they can position themselves and actually forgive other individuals. Now, having said that, let me also add that we are at a stage where ground zero and the revolution as a whole does need our support very urgently. We have to continue to move the goalposts. We have to move closer and really faster, because there are events that are happening on the ground and in the international community that, if we move very slowly, can significantly and substantially change the course of this revolution. So for which reason, it is my hope and request for all of us Amazonian must submit to you all that we really need to find every way and every manner to support this revolution, especially financially, so that way we can move fast enough and beat the other individuals or the other strategies that have been placed against our revolution. Thank you very much again for the opportunity. I will step off so others can call in.
Thank you very much, sir, and God bless you.
Thank you.
So we appreciate that caller and his opinion. I think is also very true. We have to. The people may not change their character immediately, but I believe it's very important. It's very important for us to secure the integrity of our revolution, because they are motivated by not just nationalism, but they are human beings. They are really human beings. They are really afraid. There are people who are really afraid of what if Siseko ascend to power, or what even Ayaba Cho is somehow influential in power, and what that will mean for those that they think have killed General Mba Ivor. What about me? What? Just imagine if I am in. I've already said it publicly. Eric Tato will oh, we have Colonel Bella. My brother has called. Let us hear. Hello, Colonel Bella.
Hello, Capo Daniel. This is him, the only one.
Yes, honorable.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Capo Daniel. Like the way you presented the show today, you are talking most of the time from the neutral point, neutral perspective. Thank you so much. Even though I am sick and you can hear my voice, Kata, I've got one kimi. I think I don't dodge from La Republic Thunder, but I can handle it. Capo, you mentioned so many things, and there's one thing that I love that you mentioned was the video. Even though you mentioned them too, very small, you take like 30 seconds, mention them, about what the Batibok Gusang boys, what they said, what they apologized. I think that Capo Daniel, my brother, I want to thank you for the good job where you do them. But I don't want to talk. I want to play the apologies so people can listen, and that's what I want to say today in this talk show.
Okay, sir. Go ahead.
All right. People should listen to these apologies coming from the Batibok Gusang forces that we are manipulated to turn against Dr. Ayaba Cho and ADF and Advocacy. And that is what the people that we are one-man commando like me, like Kapal Ivo, like Lucas Ashu, Immaculate Kumi, General Kaji Tesi, even Capo Daniel, to have the love of the innocent AGF, the innocent Dr. Cho Ayaba. Today, they are apologizing, and we want Ambazonians to hear, because if we talk about forgiveness, this is where the division started. If we don't understand the roadmap and the foundation of what divided us, then what are we going to forgive? Imagine that these guys were trained by General Ivo, but we Amazonians kill him. So if we want to talk about forgiveness, let us go to the baseline of what caused the division. It was because of Batibok Gusang. So let us hear the guys, after the 1st of October, the 2nd of October, they came out and made a video begging for ADF, Advocacy, and Amazonian people and Dr. Cho Ayaba to forgive them. Fellow Amazonia, you are listening to the voices of our soldiers in Batibok Gusang.
Yeah, so everybody was Gambiria, my brother, and sister. Now, me was married talk then on 2nd October.
Capo, is that audible?
Yes, we hear you.
I want to make a me no say for this life. Different man, everybody in a different man own number. You see when I say, I want to tell you that me I be start for this struggle. How I be start. Who be welcome me for up. But I see the officer that is to do. I live in my able to welcome me for up. I be start where we. So I don't come back from even though I be doing a man over some short time, but I don't start to know. But when you born became I already grow in terms of the art. When I grow, the lady grow then. So I don't realize say the child before I know in my trap. I don't come up with a Warai, no, not be so. So yes, I want to make and today me everybody for Ambazonia land knows it. Goose down soldiers, they don't go back for our power in our 8 years. And we, based on the fight, our enemy will nothing like to be. Not very bad intention for anybody. Even though we don't make me say but I don't she don't look at any conditions to make for the first one. We don't forgive take it back to one hand. I will not get no bad intention for anybody. So any man that come for peace will receive it well. Any man that come for war will just
So, fellow Ambazonians, thank you so much, Capo Daniel, for your platform. I think that people have listened to our forces in Batibo and Gusang who used their own eyes. You know that we have forgotten about them. You know, we know already they were a forgotten case. After 1 year, you cannot burn a candle and you hide under the bed except you want to burn the house. Look at how God is speaking. Fellow Ambazonians, Capo Daniel is saying that if we can stand like the boys in Batibo Gusang with pure heart and say this word, we shall arrive together. Thank you so much, Capo, and God bless you.
Thank you, General.
I really want to appreciate the work you are doing because you have 2 medals of honors from Liberation TV. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, Colonel Bella. Thank you, Colonel Bella. I love you so much, my brother. You are a vibrant youth. We are one of those millennials that give energy into the revolution, and I love you so much. You are inspiration. You talk from your heart all the time, like myself, and I really love you. And what he said is just true. These are the soldiers. What people don't know is that some of those soldiers who were standing with Boss Maya were together with Commando and Nambere when they arrested a big number. They were together there when they were torturing them. Some of those soldiers were there. And this brother. Hallelujah. Hallelujah, my brother. You are online. This my brother. Yes, my brother, you are online.
The Lord Jesus bless you, Papa.
God bless you as well. God bless you.
So, my brother Cho ransom of the Lord Jesus.
Yes, brother Cho, you are welcome.
I don't be busy, so I don't follow your. I know if you follow your program. I was so busy, even though Sister Najela, they tap me for back. And if you follow, so I not really hear the points and what you bring up. I don't know what if you help me, but if I hear more, you talk about some general the way they already did for Nigeria, where did they go for Switzerland, where me to have to see that one for some WhatsApp group for justice, where brother this man bring and they Jumba Akuru, they certify. So and overall here too. Even brother Ufoka Ijimbi tell me too about that one.
Yeah, I brief you very fast, like
the one for Ghana,
30 seconds.
Yes, the one for Ghana, we.
Yes, what did happen? I say,
Dr. Panga will go general them, and rumors we did say even Field Marshal did that side. Okay, just go ahead more here.
Yeah. So in general, then they the one carried them, mainly the one the way they do on retirement. I recall the ones where I talk say retirement because I mean most of them are general the way they don't surely do something where they know they don't broke. My talking about code language. They don't broke Odeshi law. Either some my hand and one way or the other. They no fit go back. Then they for Awala they survive for day. They don't use na the one they for go and for that talks. So the talk say na time for we Ambazonia for give amnesty, forgive general forgiveness for some of these people them and some of those leaders them, including Sako, for forgiving for my trip to Boya, because even Eric Tato, some of these activists them for forgive them for Gary process and all these things, and those general them for assure them say if they come back for Ambazonia, no man no go catch them, say me then go put them for court, because they fear to say if Ayaba Cho or Siseko come for power, Siseko go talk say be been a treason for Sako for overthrow illegally. They feel catchy, they'll put them for questioning, they put them for prison. We need this leader them for give a signal, say there will be a general amnesty for all crime the way they don't be committed during this revolution. For we for forgive them, say if any man will go seek for justice, including justice from Bar Ivor, they no go ask a Mr. Mango for prison, but it will be na the kind Nelson Mandela own kind justice will be na truth and reconciliation. So I believe say if we forgive them, I don't forgive Sako, I don't forgive Eric, I don't forgive all them. Forgive them a signal. Say me they no go compromise our struggle because they get this fear for their heart. The fear be real. The fear be real. It don't be another one way. If revolution, if victory come through one leader, the other leader no go be safe. And like the Republic of Cameroon, we don't get we don't get actual information. Say that they use this pitching against us and them for blackmail some of those leaders and encourage them to make a deal. Because now the only way they see Ambazonia, because La Republic control them, they no fit go back. If na Siseko or Ayaba Cho go stand for Boya tomorrow, some of them no go come. It's not supposed to be that way. Now a vulnerability way, I believe say Ambazonia forgiveness and reconciliation be needed. Match fire.
Forgiveness na a holy thing for do. Now, when you don't finish forgive, if the other partner no take up on the
if we forgive, and then some people then decide to go sell them, that means the same history way then go on for Africa from Patrick Lumumba, the one that even for La Republic way, Charles Asaye them then deny for compromise. NS one in then deny for compromise. Then go find Aijo, then give them the deal, then can key that one the way they be stand for the people their freedom. Would the praise me the same history no can repeat for Ambazonia way? Some people they will go compromise and then they go give hand those of us now we would then take hard nationalism position, so we go be in extremism. They go come after we, they go come after Ayaba Cho with all Trump up charges, they will assassinate some of we, and then they go hand that country now for those one the way they want to accept that deal with they want to give them for Switzerland, because they know say French government, Cameroon government no go ever control or administer Ambazonia. That one international community from the from those the way they be involved for diplomacy, with the one the way Mrs. Varan talk with them, the senator them for America, where Mrs. Varan talk with them, and the one for Europe where we don't talk with them, it don't already be established say La Republique du Cameroon, their citizens they no go ever administer our territory. Now the way forward, we go give incentive for this other people they sympathize with, for hella women will get that recognition, or we go or some of we will go compromise with them. Me probably talk say okay, when I left them I go handle them for decentralization, or me France go talk say okay, when I left them I go handle them with federalism. Then the other one the way the one block the way Muna eliminate them. But if the other one the way the one goes give sell we for outside and see then if we come back for us we go accept them, they go be prone for join we talk say okay, move come out for the Switzerland talk. Those way then they for Yaoundé, they say move come out for the dialogue. We can't stand like Ambazonia, one for all for one. Thing we will decide and it will be say now all we then decide and say na thing so one time. Then the international community will say okay, at least it no go be na Southern Sudan. At least no way for penetrating people they know they. We'll give them way to way then deserve them like what Ambassador Cohen talk. So what problem be na say the British government connive with the French government for undermine the institution of the trusteeship, and then they go put question them for plebiscite where they no be supposed to they go move one question where they be supposed to put and they when are independent. Me then give you a full right under international law. Match fire.
The thing we talk na perspective we take up. The underground work where the other group they do from the time we never from them did what I don't want talk something the morning of the year. From the time we start go Congress for US here, we be do never from them. We do jump back, we do comment that we do people for IG. That IG never split. The way they start make before that they go create that SCSC. From that time, before then, Ellis me don't come here, come with them, they don't arrange. From that time, Ayaba Akwanga start talk. Me they come cookie little carry them na drag. Ellis me go for Germany. They talk say they ask journalists. They ask say what if the people that don't accept the negotiation they don't bring her from Cameroon? He say the people that don't bring the only do the how they do for journalists Savimbi. So una the one try to make let's say una one forge hand. Una go forgive us una don't talk. Maybe today where they don't start. Maybe today. And first time people like me so I begin look and say it will be an infiltration from La Republique camp of I don't want to call names again for this in I would all write extensively. Would all write an infiltration. But from the moment we letters come out back right from US Congress come it all we Dr. Sako the writer against me they will show back for them. Then from the moment we write for UN Security Council they send news for the on the 4th of October the UN Security Council will pass Nafote una go for no say Antonio Guterres is secretary of the work with Dr. Niba. So una forgive us, una won't forgive, una put una knee for down. Una wipe una tears, una put una knees. If some man don't do wrong, he no say if don't do wrong against Southern Cameroon, I want to repeat them. Una go see God power. Then Nala Republic go still fall. Una go see God power. Now me at the talk. Una forgive, go ahead. So I may not be in front throne of God, say, una maybe forgive them. Una be forgive. Una go ahead, una forgive. Yet una go see God's power. Now la Republic go still fall. Now me, brother, throw ransom of the Lord Jesus Christ at the talk. I say now me at the talk. Now la Republic go still fall. Now una do it una want do.
Well, my brother, thank you so much. Thank you so much. May God bless you, and we pray for that. Amen. So, ladies and gentlemen, like my brother were talking, I think we know Brother Ransom. What happened in Gaza? Those troops, some of them were there together with the commando when they were torturing Big Number. And Big Number, when he came into Bali, he met Boss Dimaya, and they didn't arrest him. They treated him good. They interviewed him. They sent us a video, and they allowed him to go. And those troops have sit down. They have listened to the lies that people were saying that ADF was going around killing people. If they wanted to kill people, they would kill those guys because they were there torturing them. They were once over them. But they left them because the enemy is La Republique, and those troops have come back home. And you have seen people who have even tried to separate General Ivor from ADF. How strange is that? How weird is that? So let's be forgiven. I believe this. I've prayed over it. I've consulted with people who advise me. Some of my advisors, they agree. Some of them do not agree. But at the end of the day, I'm taking my position as an independent activist, as a campaigner for Ambazonia freedom and liberty. And I want Ambazonia to be something different. I'm not just fighting to destroy the system we have, but it's for the Ambazonia I believe we can have. So I ask people to forgive Samuel Sako. I forgive him personally. Forgive General Nambere and all those who are there. Forgive them. Forgive Eric Tato and all of them. And I promise, if I ever have an opportunity to ask for justice for all the things I believe they have done from the report that I have received, I will ask for people to forgive them. I will not ever use my influence to target them to be persecuted or prosecuted. I forgive them, and I appeal to them, and I appeal to the leaders who are in Switzerland not to accept any deal from La Republique to Cameroon, because they are afraid of people like me. They are afraid for leaders like Seseko. They are afraid of leaders like Ayaba Cho Lucas, that if one day these leaders have power, they too cannot come to Ambazonia. I believe that is a fear which is real, and I believe from the information I have received, it is being used by our enemy. The ultimate reason why General Ivor gave his life for Ambazonia was because he wanted us freedom. And if in the course of us prosecuting this struggle, we realize that holding that grudge, demanding that specific stance of punitive justice, will mean that it will jeopardize our chances to have independence, because it is going to give these people in the hands of the enemy for them to secure a federalist system or a decentralized system, and the blood of our heroes might go in waste. Then I think the wise and rational thing to do to honor General Mba Ivor, to honor those who were victim of Gary process, to honor those who were victim of the 419 of Matric Tuboya, it will be for us to have forgiving heart. And I do so that I was a specific target. Samuel Sako wanted me dead. He actually had used money, 2,000 cents for people to target me and my family. They had actually sent Amba Boys lawyer to them to come after me and my family. And thank God they didn't succeed, and thank God there were people in the system who saw it, picked on it, and they informed me. I had told him, and we hope we'll have forgiveness. We forgive for the sake of the dream of independence from the Godfather and his team. We ask for forgiveness for the sake of those tiger fighters who were killed in Lebialem, because their dream was that we should have independence. The only thing that motivates me to do this is because of our independence. That is the only thing. And I hope you see with me, and I hope you share my view. And I also have articulated, you can go back to the video and look about the issue of our division. And La République du Cameroon contacting everybody, all my one be boss, contacting everybody from behind, sending invitation. Those invitations, those multiple invitations, is indication of weakness. It's not strength, it's weakness. And those who responded like they are boss, they are the one taking decisions, they are making a mistake. When we have those opportunities, the signal we have to send to them is that we have people who speak for us. We are capable of surrendering leadership to somebody else. And that is going to disarm them. But because we fail to do that, some activists, they are taking it like we are now King Kong. Now they are even emboldened. They are now demanding that they bring our community people into the negotiation. They want to bring all Ambazonia. We hear say that they bring 61 county heads to meet them. It is tough. It is tough. But what can we do? We should be able to do everything for our country. We have come to the end of my show, the No KUNNY Talk Zone. It is an advocacy platform. I've opened my platform for public comments. It is temporary, but it means I'm going to be very harsh. Please, if you come to my platform where I publish my opinion and I advocate for our country and the interests of our country, be very civil and respect me. When you are writing on my wall or commenting under my comment, respect that it is my platform and my view. You can express your view and your opinion in that perspective, respectfully. Because if you are insulting people on their platform, you irritate those people who are normal people, who are civil and gentle men and women, and make them unable to participate. And then I will block you or I will remove you because I think that you are not productive. Even if you oppose me, be civil and your opinion will be heard and will be seen. But if you are vulgar, you are disrespectful, I will have to block you. And that goes to those who are agents of La République du Cameroon. I don't see any need to allow a specific person to promote things that are contrary to the revolution in my platform. That is my policy. And thank you once more for participating and for making the show interactive. Share the message from the platform and let us pray for our country. May the war for our independence be short. May freedom, civil liberty, democracy be in Ambazonia forever. God bless you. Capo Daniel, signing off.